Yabonra has urged President-elect John Dramani Mahama to prioritize the country's development and strive for a good name and a lasting legacy. This is a message and a call to action was conveyed to a delegation of chiefs from the Gonja traditional area who visited the president-elect at his office. And you are aware that apart from that, he's met the apostolic fathers. He's also met other religious leaders too. He's met diplomats. He's met, and the transition team is still ongoing. They are still doing their work. In fact, cracks are beginning to emerge over whether or not the government can approve whatever it wants to approve, give jobs to whoever it wants to give jobs to, at whichever time it feels or deems it fit, since it still has power to rule. The signal from the office or the Mahama transition team is that, don't worry, we are just cautioning you. If you do it, we won't undo it. So take note ahead of time. So if you are today planning to go and take up a role, George, if you want to take up a role in government now, the direct caution to you is that hasten slowly, or else your job, you may be rendered unemployed. In fact, they had referenced the very, I think it was at a vetting, Yahosaf Mafu's own speech came to, they've been sharing that to back the claim that some of these things are unfair, they are unjust, so in December you were not on the payroll. Then the next year, January, you miraculously appear on the payroll of government with the hope, or you get a bump, massive bump in your salary. I mean, they are legitimate ones. Sometimes they're taking a long time to fix, but it will be investigated, and you've just got on board. You will be returned to your original position, or you will be removed from the system as is expected.
They're supposed to be on probation, right?
No,
that's what happened in.
You won't finish your probation.
That's what happened in 2017.
The expression about cracks beginning to make, the cracks even began on day one. but the issue, when both sides are corporate, if you look at what happened in 2017, what is happening now, and also both sides also have the case as well. Depending on how you look at quick one, that for the bet that will have some serious fiscal implications on the new administration years. But also you realize that some of the payments were captured in the budget for 2024 that we understand that had delayed. So some of these payments wouldn't have any implications on the new administration. I am aware of someone who had an employment with a government agency as far back as 2003. I mean, he went through the interview and everything. It delayed and delayed and delayed. He was just caught somewhere in August to start his work. So
why was he still in the?
That was what, 2023 or 2003?
2023. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So because I wonder why
but the process actually started way before the transition team. That I'm just saying that there are instances where these cases are genuine.
No, I get you. The explanation is that they are not going to actually do a blanket everybody who came in. It will be investigated. We will look at it whether wasted indeed. You are one of the people who are supposed to be officially rolled onto the main scheme, or your rank improved within the period you're supposed to happen. In fact, the idea is that last minute appointments and or payments should not be done without consultation, so that nobody is blindsided about what's going to happen in the future, so that they'll come and tell you that we didn't know that this was the situation.
But I'm surprised these things come out, because the essence of the transition is to rather iron all
and that
these
is
things.
why the incoming government said, let's discuss these things. The outgoing government says that's not the agreement reached. But this is it for me. If the NPP government in 2017 deemed it right to reverse appointments of the previous government, I would say, if I were the NPP, I won't do same. Because you definitely would know that these persons will not finish after their probation, will go home. 2, if you needed clearance, financial clearance, and you have financial clearance at the last minute, please and please, we know the kind of democracy and the system we run here. In the last days, do not appoint. There are certain statutory bodies that you can. So if you appoint to say Shraj,
but even
Which
so
actually
but you had
happened
8 years. You could have
Yeah.
done the appointment anytime.
So
what is this?
do not appoint. So do not appoint. I mean, I've so
you mentioned Shraj.
yes, Shraj.
And then
Shraj. I mean,
what
I've
happened in 2000?
No, I mean, Joseph Whittal was
Yeah.
appointed in 2016.
Yeah.
I've seen one here. Nobody's
Double
fighting
level.
that. Nobody's fighting that. They are actually fighting government institutions and agencies like the Bank of Ghana, the GMPCs, the ports, that people are being recruited all of a sudden. This is something the NPP fought in 2017. They should not be doing same.
Maybe
But wait,
if
and
we
again, my
created more
argument is
jobs
that-
for everybody.
My argument is that
These
can we
conversations will not come
independently
up.
establish that these are appointments, as I said, that are being done in the last minute. Timing, it's a critical issue here. But again, the argument about efficiency and is it certain things can be right, but is it worth also doing it? So I'm saying that there are some of these appointments or this process that started way before this time. That is unfortunate that these people are being caught up.
Yes, but
these elections.
yeah, but I mean, so you started a process and you are employing somebody. That process takes more than 1 year.
But if the person to you are in the phase of employment for a whole year. What were you doing within the 12 months?
Let's get
Seriously,
to it.
what were you doing?
Let's get to
We are
the
getting a job. We are going to contribute to the productivity of an institution. 12 good months, and you are still in the throes of employment.
But I think that that's the essence of the transition thing. That listen, discuss these things behind the scenes, and it's coming out. This person saying this. I don't think it's healthy. Seriously.
The other story says finance minister will lay expenditure in advance of appropriation. This is Minister for Presidential Affairs on the transition team and
Osei
still
Mensah-Bonsu.
member of Parliament for Swami, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, assuring that the finance minister will still lay it. You know, there is controversy in Parliament as to if you separate it from what's the name of the list, the 41, no? The people
The
waivers,
tax waivers.
yeah, the tax waiver grouping. If you separate from it, we will not, and the workers are not happy at all that our small salary is being used as.
Oh no, but the
just
workers, whatever happens, the workers will get their salary.
Yeah.
You know, this is just somebody saying, "No, otherwise workers will not be paid." In why in January? When are they going to pay workers? Parliament will sit from the 7th.
True.
They can still pass it, but it will be passed this week, I'm sure. But you know, the problem.
That's what he's saying. That
Yeah, but the problem
it
is
will
that
happen.
when you have a deputy majority whip, Honorable Tete, I think that's the Sefia Contombra and
Yes,
Chairman
yeah.
Tete, they call him, saying that if you don't want to do, then we also not do this. It raises questions, and so we begin to ask: is it because of the minority's decision not to support the tax exemptions or tax waivers, hence government's reluctance in submitting that? That's a constitutional provision. Go ahead and do it, and leave the next government to decide whether or not these tax waivers would impact the government fiscally or not.
In any case, if the businesses do not really get to do their jobs in this country, it will affect the next government more.
Yeah. So let them take that decision.
All of the impact you expect to be on the economy is the next government that's going to bear it. So what's the big deal when? And the other ones sitting there, they say, well,
They don't want
hold
it.
on to it.
So let them come and take it. If they don't
In
want
any
it,
case, it's a harder decision to take when you come and you go through 41 and you don't know which one to remove, and you come to realize that they are all legitimate ones. You have yourself the same difficulty that they're having now. So I don't know why it's almost been made to look like hook or crook. We have to pass these waivers. When you do that, people now suspect.
There's
Then which
something
people are the
behind it,
beneficiaries
yeah,
here that
you know.
hook or crook, you want to get them these
Or
waivers.
somebody benefited, but just like what Graphic has reported, we also had pick from our sources that this the expenditure in advance appropriation,
Yeah.
you know,
People call it
say
budget.
mini budget. That's all. You know, will be done before the house rises for the Christmas break. And to Delhi Gali stories, EC Balabos is set on fire at Kwashiman School and also an outdoors new foreign affairs complex, I think is an airport, right? And also Parliament delay in 3-month budget approval threatens transition, and also the Ghana Armed Forces arrest protocol recruitment scammer. Those are the lead story on the Daily Guide. And also on page 9 there's a story about the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, saying that they are handing over a strong economy, and disputes about whether the economy is bad. The economy is about your pocket, right? Or
that's my understanding of the economy.
So, but I think that in one breath you also see that.
What are the first and foremost? I agree with the pocket analysis, but what are the indicators saying? I've seen a more recent 7.2 or so.
That's good
for the second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that he, as even minister, should relax. It will show up at the end of the year, and in the new year, you will be vindicated. There's no need to be singing your praise ahead of time. And if you end up not being so, people might think that you are just doing petty politics. So he should relax. If he's done magic with the economy, eventually it will be revealed as such. So it's not a big deal. This business that we do to ourselves, we act as if, oh, no, I need to quickly go and tell people, yes, 7.2 is good. But overall, what are the other indicators saying? What about the exchange rate, for example? We are still discussing, and see, we are making 15, even 14 look normal in this country.
Can you imagine?
Yes, we are making it look like it's the new normal. It's massive improvement. It's some very nice thing to do. Respectfully, we complained in this republic about 4 cedi to $1 for $1.
6 cedi, yeah,
yes, no, I'm saying that we complained in this country about 4 cedi.
There was even a time we complained about 1 to 2.
Yes, yeah, it's true. We complained. We said it was terrible. We said it was a sign of a terrible economic management. But all of a sudden, we are roaming in 14. And I asked that question. The people who are going to look for dollars to go and buy all the things that this Christmas they will need. Let's say basmati rice.
Why basmati rice?
Because that's what the masses like.
Fortune rice.
The masses like what? Basmati rice.
They like fortune rice.
Talk for yourself.
No. The masses like.
No, don't mention rice brands.
Okay, I should not mention. Okay,
perfume rice. That one is not a brand.
Let's move.
No, the masses want to taste something small, so it's only
they don't want gravels and then sand in the rice.
I agree with you, my brother, but that's not the most important part. I'm saying that all of these imports will come with a problem on our hands. And go and check today. If you convert your salary to dollars, that's where you know that the dollar is a very strong currency. We are just wolf. Yeah. Then you hear what your compatriots are taking elsewhere. Then
there's a lot of work to be done. I mean, celebrating data and all the rest. It's about, and to use Bill Clinton's expression, is the economy stupid? You understand me? It is not about stupid in a sense, but it's all about the economy.
Yeah.
And celebrating data and macro numbers, well, yes, but it's also about the people and how these numbers are impacting on their pocket. When inflation is coming down, it should impact on my consumption pattern.
I mean, you talked about the jobless growth, for instance, yesterday. And we talk about these things. But this is a country that is always touting its growth, but unemployment keeps increasing. Yeah. So you ask the question, what's the problem? It tells you you're not doing something right. Because if your economy is expanding, your economy would expand to accommodate people. But if your economy is expanding and still cannot accommodate the people and more people are becoming unemployed, then you're asking, in which sectors are you growing?
Yeah.
So these are things that we should be thinking about. Unfortunately for us, what we do is that we throw out numbers. And a lot of the people will take it up and say the economy grew by this. When you ask them, some of them don't even understand what they're saying. They're just throwing out the figures, and that's it. End of the world. We should just take it, everything like that. True. Please. I want to be able to go out there when you travel on, say, holiday. You don't need to take too much money.
If you don't take it, go and use your ATM card.
That is how you realize. Sometimes the Visa platform also has a different calculation and all the rest. But when you are talking about even,
but you feel it all.
For that normal
massive
person,
deductions.
for that normal person out there, it's just about getting something to eat and a place to lay his head. That is all. Just like what some boys say.
No,
the simple things.